Hello guys, I am your friend Sumit, founder of onlinegrecoaching.com, and our today's webinar is on GRE text completion questions. Guys, GRE text completion questions are important as they constitute 30% of your GRE verbal reasoning sections. Text completion questions are designed to further test your ability to understand what you read. They will test your vocabulary, particularly your ability to apply sophisticated vocabulary in context. You will be asked to read a short passage of 1 to 5 sentences. There will be 1 to 3 blanks in the passage where a crucial word is missing. You will need to fill in each blank using several options provided. All text completion questions will be in multiple choice format. Each passage will have 1 to 3 blanks and you will be given several options to choose from to fill in the blanks. Generally, passages with only 1 blank will have 5 options to choose from, while those with 2 to 3 blank will have only 3 options per blank. So guys, in the first place, the passages used for text completion questions will generally be much shorter than those used for reading comprehension questions. Moreover, text completion questions are much more focused, and to answer them effectively, you may need to grasp subtle aspects of sentence structure. When answering text completion questions, one of the key skills you will need is the ability to grasp the overall meaning of the passage even with certain words missing. One of the key strategy while answering text completion question is to read the text completely to grasp the overall meaning of the passage. After doing this, you will have an idea which the easiest blank is. And then, starting with the easiest blank first, fill all the blanks with a word of your own before you look at the answer options. Don't try to plug in the answer choices because most of the times answer choices are smartly constructed to trap you. After filling the blank with a word of your own, look for the closest synonym of the word out of the options. If you are unsure of what some of the options mean and can't identify closest synonym, try to eliminate words with opposite meanings to your own word. And guys, one important point. Don't commit the mistake of filling the blank as you read. You have to read the entire passage and grasp the overall meaning of the passage first. Guys, for example, once the candidate established herself as the clear front runner, it took but a brief interlude in the clamor for all her erstwhile supporters or detectors or zealots. Guys, in this way, if you try to fill the blank as you read, you may fall in the trap. Please do not do this. You have to read the entire passage first and grasp the overall meaning of the passage first. Guys, one more important point. After reading the text completely, don't assume that you should always fill in the first blank first. Always fill the easiest blank with a word of your own first. For some questions, it is difficult to fill in one blank without first correctly filling in another blank. Guys, one important point. Be especially alert for words like although and despite. And one more important point. Also keep an eye out for words like therefore, moreover and thus, which suggest summation or additional support for points that have already been made. And guys, one more important point. Always reread the passage with the answers you have selected and filled in to see whether the passage is grammatical and makes sense with the options you have chosen. Even if your choice seemed right, if it doesn't produce a coherent grammatically correct passage, it is not the correct answer. Now guys, it's time to take some questions. First question. Once the candidate established herself as the clear front runner, it took but a brief interlude in the clamor for all her erstwhile dash to gather around her and to begin loudly proclaiming their dash. It seemed, in other words, to cause these newcomers not an iota of discomfort to behave in a manner that a casual observer might have characterized as dash outright hypocrisy. Guys, feel free to pause this video and you can try this question. So guys, here clamor means loud continuous voice, and here hypocrisy means behavior that contradicts with someone's past behavior or belief, and here erstwhile means past or former. Now guys, one point is absolutely clear, that it is must to have good vocabulary to attempt GRE text completion questions. And one more point, text completion questions also test your ability to understand what you read. Here in this question, here erstwhile indicates that those who are now gathering around the candidate were once doing something different, that is criticizing or detracting. So therefore a detractor is the correct word for first blank. Here zealot means ardent supporter, which is the reverse of what we want. These former detractors are now gathering around to proclaim their loyalty or fidelity. Therefore, fidelity is the correct word for second blank. Here magnanimity means big-heartedness, and distaste means strong feeling or dislike. Definitely former detractors are now gathering around to proclaim their loyalty or fidelity. They are not proclaiming their distaste or magnanimity. Those who were detractors, now they are gathering around and they have started loudly proclaiming their loyalty. This is deeply inconsistent with their past actions. They are behaving in a manner that one might call outright hypocrisy. Since the last sentence says that the former opponents did not feel at all embarrassed about behavior that might be described as dash outright hypocrisy, the third blank must mean equivalent to or the same as. Therefore, tantamount to is the correct option for third blank. Now guys, let's come to second question. In many criminal trials, it emerges that the defendant dash some kind of abuse as a child. However, these biographical revelations should not have any effect on how the jury apportions dash. An excuse is not a justification, and the criminal justice system was not constructed to help balance the dash of someone's life. So guys, here in this question, no substantial clue has been given. We can't fill all the three blanks with our own words. Here, let's start by taking help from options. Here the first blank is a good place to start. Obviously, no one appreciates abuse. Exploited may be the answer, but no clue has been given to suggest that abuse is being used to exploit the system. Therefore, suffered is the best choice for first blank. Now guys, apportion means to judge or to settle argument between two people. Jury apportions blame or crime. Therefore, for second blank, we need a word similar in meaning to blame or crime. Therefore, culpability is correct option for second blank. Ledger means information about deeds or karmas someone has committed. Finally, third blank makes sense with ledger as we can't balance imprisonment or verdict. Now guys, let's come to third question. The university president argued that top university should not dash education as an academic dash, so discouraging our brightest students from pursuing teaching careers does a disservice to the next generation of students by dash them of the opportunity to learn from the cream of the crop. Here in this question, the semicolon in this sentence is a clue that the two parts of the sentence agree. The first part should mirror the meaning. So discouraging our brightest student from pursuing teaching career. Therefore, Universities should not put down education as an academic era or pursuit. Therefore, for first blank, we need a word similar in meaning to put down. So disdain means to strongly dislike or to disapprove. Therefore, disdain is correct option for first blank. Proscribe means to make something illegal or to not allow something. Circumvent means to get around something in a clever way. Here proscribe and circumvent do not make any sense. And discipline is closest match for second blank. The third blank needs something that explains the disservice done to the future students. It needs something like depriving them of the chance to learn from the best. The best choice is the synonym divesting. Here, denigrate means to defame someone and degenerating means declining or deteriorating. Don't fall for the traps, denigrating and degenerating. Now guys, let's come to fourth question. The Russo-Turkish War dash Albanians, placing before them the dash prospect of a division of their lands among competing powers. This above all served to bring Albanian nationalism surging out of its former dash, culminating in a successful bid for independence only a few decades later. So guys, here it is good to start with third blank. Nationalism culminated in a successful bid for independence only a few decades later. So it surged out of its quiescent state. Therefore, we need a word similar in meaning to quiescence. Therefore, latency is the correct word here. The prospect of division of their lands would not be a good thing for the Albanians. So expect a negative word in the second blank. Also, the sentence indicates that a successful bid for independence happened a few decades later. Therefore, pernicious works well here, as pernicious means harmful or greatly destructive. Evanescent means short-lived. Transient also means staying for a short period of time. Now guys, let's come to first blank. The war clearly didn't weaken or enervate Albanians, since it encourages them to strive for independence. War might have angered, persecuted or caused bitterness for them, that is rankled them. Therefore, rankled is correct option for first blank. Now guys, let's come to fifth question. While taller wind turbines would allow more areas of the country to provide cost-effective alternative energy, there are several dash that engineers are currently facing while trying to build such turbines. Taller tower necessitate dash bases requiring the current width to be nearly doubled. This leads to dash issue. These wider sections would be too large to travel on modern highways, meaning that the taller turbines would need to be constructed at the location where they are to eventually stand. The first sentence says that taller turbines would be better. But there is some contrasting negative element. In other words, the engineers are facing difficulties. We need a word similar in meaning to difficulties. Therefore, complications is the correct options. Therefore, complications is correct option here for first blank. Flaws means defect. Flaws and supplements do not make any sense here. In the second sentence, taller tower necessitate dash bases, requiring the current width to be nearly doubled. We need a word similar in meaning to wider. The only choice for the second blank that can mean wider is stouter. Here equitable means fair and unobtrusive means not attracting attention. Here equitable and unobtrusive do not make any sense. The final sentence says that the wider section leads to a dash issue. Because they are too large to transport on modern highways, wider base has engendered accompanying issue. So here concomitant, which means accompanying or coexisting, works well here. Here the theoretical and objective do not make any sense. Now guys, now let's come to next question. So this question is having two blanks. The film was dash by critics. Rightfully, not a single reviewer had any positive things to say about it. The sentence indicates that there was not a single positive review from any critic. In other words, the film was completely criticized or 100% disliked. Here guys, roundly means so thoroughly as to leave no doubt. And verily means cautiously, and mendacious means dishonest or not truthful. And here lauded means appreciated, venerated means respected, panned means criticized or disliked. So here roundly is the best match for first blank and panned is the best match for the second blank. The film was roundly panned by critics rightfully. Not a single reviewer had any positive things to say about it. So here panned means reviewed negatively as it is used to refer plays, movies, etc. So therefore roundly is a best match for first blank and panned is best match for second blank. The film was roundly panned by critics. Rightfully, not a single reviewer had any positive things to say about it. Now guys, let's come to next question. Jeremy was not one to dash his success, let alone talk much at all. So his family was shocked when they finally discovered that their dash son was a Rhodes Scholar. So guys, here demarcate means to show the limits or edges of something. Trumpet is a brass musical instrument. It has second meaning also. Trumpet means to praise something loudly and publicly, especially in a way that is annoying. Jeremy is successful, but it takes his family a long time to discover his achievement. So thus Jeremy doesn't brag or even report the facts. Therefore trumpet is a suitable word here for first blank. So guys, here the phrase let alone is used to emphasize the improbability of a statement. The correct use of expression not X let alone Y requires that X be at lower level or be an intermediate step toward Y. As in, the paper was not even comprehensible, let alone informative. It means that paper was not comprehensible, how it can be informative. Now guys, let's take another example. She can't boil potatoes, let alone cook a meal. Therefore, in this question, the clue let alone talk much at all shows that Jeremy was uncommunicative. Therefore, taciturn fits best. Here taciturn means quiet or uncommunicative, and improvident means not providing or saving for the future. And dissolute means indulging too much in physical pleasures such as drink, etc. So here improvident and dissolute do not make any sense. Now guys, let's come to another question. He has such a pleasingly dash personality that it is hard to be bothered by the dash in his past. Here guys, sanguine means confident and optimistic. Ephemeral means short-lived or lasting a very short time. High-handed means not having or showing any interest in the rights, opinions or feelings of other people. Peccadillo means minor crime. Incendiary means agitator or a person who stirs up sedition. The sentence states that man's personality is pleasing, so pleasing that it is hard to be bothered by something in his past. The first word should match pleasing, and the second blank should be something negative that others might overlook. So guys, here evanescent or ephemeral means short-lived. So here evanescent, it doesn't make any sense. We need a positive word for first blank. Sanguine means confident and optimistic. So sanguine is perfect fit for first blank. And guys, peccadillos are minor faults or sins, small enough that they might be overlooked. Therefore, peccadillos fits best for the second blank. Achievement has a positive connotation, while the second blank should convey a negative connotation. And incendiaries here doesn't make any sense. Now guys, let's come to another question. His dash fear of heights was at times a crippling disability. The mere thought of boarding an airplane was enough to send him into a cold sweat. So long distance trips were an ordeal, and yet it was ultimately his fear of humiliation that proved most taxing. A naturally dash man, he did his best to avoid being noticed and was deeply pained by the commotion his panic attacks often produced among bystanders. Here guys, corporeal means consisting of or related to physical body, and craven means cowardly or having or showing a complete lack of courage. And here visceral means something strongly felt or as if in the internal organs of the body. Here guys, ordeal means an experience that is very unpleasant or difficult. Commotion means noisy confusion or disturbance. We know that the first missing word modifies fear, so it must describe a particular kind of fear. You can most likely rule out craven right away, although certain fears might be cowardly. The tone of the passage is sympathetic towards the man, not disapproving. The other clue is that his fear caused him to sweat. Fear is strongly felt as if it is in the internal organs of the body. Therefore, visceral is more likely to be used in the context of a fear. And guys, to fill in the second blank, we have a clue, his fear of humiliation. We need a word that will explain the man's reluctance to be noticed. Therefore, we need a word that means shy or something synonymous. Therefore, diffident means lacking confidence, fits well. Here, prudish and taciturn do not make any sense. Here, prudish means a person who gives too much attention to formal rules, and taciturn means uncommunicative. Here, prudish and taciturn do not make any sense.
Friends, for practicing sentence equivalence questions and for improving your vocabulary, you can download Android application GRE Vocabulary using word groups. Link has been given in the description. Thank you for watching. Subscribe our channel so that you will be notified whenever we upload a new video. And I will meet you in my next video.